Should I form an LLC for my real estate business? The Magic and Costs of LLCs by Brian Pendergraft of the Pendergraft firm, LLC. And you can download the slides to this presentation at tpf.legal/should. Disclaimer: this is legal and tax information, not legal and tax advice. For legal and or tax advice, please contact experienced legal and or tax counsel. An LLC is legal magic. A group of modern-day magicians decided to create what is known as a limited liability company with the power of words. By creating a limited liability company, you are creating an entity that is a person that is not you, even if you can control this person. Your personal activities and assets are still yours. Your business activities and assets are now owned by this magical entity. What does this mean? Kind of means you have a split personality. If you decide to separate yourself from your business activity, then your business and personal activities are now two separate entities. Just like you and I are two separate entities. You are not liable for my mistakes because we are two separate entities. You shouldn't have to go to jail if I harm someone. This same logic is applied to my business and personal activities. I shouldn't have to suffer for my business's wrongdoing. We have to pretend to ignore the fact that I control the business for this to work, and the magicians have made it so people actually ignore this fact. It's like blaming your wrongdoings on your split personality in real life and getting away with it. How does this apply to real estate? Let's use an extreme example. Say I flip houses for a living, and a house I sold has a dangerous defect that I negligently did not notice, which causes the house to burn down, and the person I sold the house to dies burning in the fire. The estate of the person I sold the house now wants to sue me for everything that I have. If I was doing business through a business entity, I could make the argument that pretty much amounts to, hey, I didn't do it. The business did it. Hold him responsible, not me. In practice, this is actually an incredibly strong argument. If this person gets a judgment against my business entity and not against me personally, then he can only take what the business owns and not what I own personally in order to satisfy the judgment. My house or anything else that I may own in my personal name is safe. You can pull a rabbit out of a hat. How likely is such an extreme example to happen? Who knows? This may never happen to you. I like to think of the possibility of bad things happen, kind of like getting into a car accident. It's highly unlikely it may never happen to you, but if it does, then you may be happy for having car insurance, or in this case, an LLC. However, this example is slightly misleading. You do not necessarily need an LLC if things go wrong. There's plenty of investors that forego LLCs in favor of just having good business insurance. I speak more on the pros and cons of this route later. Does limited liability protection always work? No, it does not. There are rules that limited liability companies must follow. Aside from state requirements to keep the business in good standing, the biggest mistake LLC owners make is not really separating themselves from their business activity. If I sue you and I can show that your business and personal activity is so commingled that your LLC is really you and you do not have a split personality, then I can make a compelling argument that you should not be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat and avoid personal liability for your business dealings. How much does it cost to maintain a limited liability company? It varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. I like to think that at minimum, you should expect to spend $1,000 per year to maintain your LLC. And of course, this amount could be more or less depending on your jurisdiction. And if you get a monthly bookkeeper, you can bump this up to $2,000 per year. Examples of maintenance fees are a CPA if you need professional help filing taxes. This is not optional for most people. Most people need some form of help. A bookkeeper, again, I highly recommend getting one, but of course it's going to drive the price up. But they're nice to have. Miscellaneous state assessments and taxes. This is not optional. You must pay this to keep your LLC in good standing. Then there are registered agent fees, which are not required but can help provide anonymity. And business accounts at banks may cost more than personal accounts. So those are just some examples of LLC maintenance fees. Now again, bare minimum, I think you expect to spend $1K, but if you want a bookkeeper, probably $2K per year just to maintain the LLC. Is there any magic limited liability companies can help me with other than limited liability? Yes, there is. Privacy. Property ownership is public record. There are free and inexpensive public record search companies that can easily find each property that is in your own individual name. If the property is not in your personal name, people will probably not be able to find what you own in a free or inexpensive search. Depending on how your business is structured, it can be very difficult to find who the owner of the business is. However, this is no guarantee of absolute privacy. There are services that specialize in locating people and their assets. However, these services usually cost a lot more than free. And another thing they can help you with is changing your tax status. LLCs can choose to be taxed as sole proprietorships, partnerships, S corporations, or C corporations. For example, if you're just starting out and not making any money, you can choose to be taxed as a sole proprietorship. However, if you're making $100K per year let's say in an operational real estate business such as fix and flipping, wholesaling, or even brokering, this example that I'm about to use actually does not apply to passive income from rentals, and that's how the rich stay rich. But essentially, if you operate an operational business or an active business, such as fix and flipping, lawyering, or brokering, then you'll be taxed at the federal. Right now, the current federal self-employment tax is, it's 15.3%. So if you make $100,000, then federal taxes for self-employment are going to come out to about $15,000. And so if you're taxed. And you can, so if you're a sole proprietorship, you're just going to get hit with that. That's just what you're going to have to deal with. However, you can reduce that hit by switching to a more favorable tax status. And this generally causes your LLC maintenance costs to rise, but it could definitely be worth it to minimize taxes. Alternatives to protect business activities other than limited liability companies. Insurance. Many successful real estate investors choose to forego limited liability protection in favor of having insurance. Now, I'm no insurance expert, so if you go this route, be sure to talk with an insurance professional. The downside of this approach is what if there is an incident that exceeds the limits of your insurance policy? By being highly leveraged, as in using other people's money. Here's an extreme example of how, for an illustration of how this works. Let's say you buy an investment property for $600,000 with a $5,000 down payment, and you borrow $595,000 to pay for the rest from secured lenders. And this guy X, he sues you and he gets a judgment against you, and the sale of your property is forced. The $595,000 from the sale gets paid first to the secured lenders. Then the remaining money in the asset will be used to pay off the last creditor, X. Unfortunately for X, there's only $5,000 left. So by being highly leveraged, it will discourage attorneys from suggesting to their clients to sue you personally. Of course, this won't stop X from attempting to garnish your wages if you have a job or trying to get money out of your personal bank account. So if they know that you have a job or if they know that you have a lot of money in a bank account, then they may very well still want to sue you personally. An LLC drawback for real estate in particular. For buy and hold investors of investment properties, many residential lenders will not loan to LLCs. Commercial lenders will loan, but they charge much higher fees for LLCs. So maybe a better business strategy to acquire properties in your personal name, because you may be able to get it at a better, you may be able to borrow money at a better rate than you can in your business's name. On the other hand, once you have a proven business, you'll have more lenders willing to lend to you at better rates. So should I form an LLC for my real estate business? It depends. Are you in a position to pay the ongoing maintenance costs? Are you comfortable or uncomfortable doing business in your personal name? Do you want to make it harder for people to find properties that you hold in your own name? Are you making a lot of money in an operational real estate business? Are you brokering, fixing, flipping, wholesaling, and you could use a more advantageous tax status? Do you need financing for an investment property? See what kind of financing is available if you use your business or your personal name, and go from there. And lastly, do you want to be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat and avoid liability? And here is wisdom that is business advice and not legal advice, although none of this is legal advice anyway. So should you decide to go the LLC route, there are many people that have formed LLCs and never do a single deal. If you have no business experience at all, like absolutely none, it may make sense to keep your expenses low. Get legal advice to make sure that you are doing things legally. For example, if you're a wholesaler, get attorney-reviewed contracts specific to your jurisdiction. Get a deal done, and then use the profits from your first deal to pay for your LLC and its maintenance costs. Need an LLC for your real estate business? Contact the Pendergraft firm, LLC. You can hit me up at info@tpf.legal. Call me 301-205-9013. You can find me on my Facebook group, Planlord. Don't be a landlord, be a planlord. Let's go to Facebook in the search bar, type Planlord. You'll find the group. Or you can hit me up on Instagram at Pendergraft firm. So again, hashtag legal magic. That's me, your boy. Thanks for watching. And you can download the slides to this presentation at tpf.legal/should.